On your drive home, you probably hit a pothole. When you take your kids to school, it may happen again, but the chances are it's not happening here in Greenwood Village because of the city's quality roadways and proactive efforts to repair potholes before your car finds them. We will see if that is the case as GV Kids Inc. News goes out into field to visit with city crews just to see how deep those potholes really are. We had to see for ourselves, so we took a drive around Greenwood Village to count how many potholes we could find. And we drove around, and around, and around. Shane, how is it that we could not find any potholes in the village?
Well, that's a good question, Jack. We do have some potholes in the village. There's different sizes and different locations. You kind of have to know where to look for them. We try to keep up on them. We do daily and weekly inspections when we're not busy already doing a project. We try to be ahead of the game on that. The city's current policy on potholes is we usually either find them ourselves, do inspections, or if we have a call in from a resident or a public coming in and out of the city for work, we try and go and inspect that and make a documentation of that pothole within 24 to 48 hours and see what the issue is and how severe it is, and prioritize that with the workload we already have and potholes we're already trying to repair at this present time. I think that it's good that the traveling public realize that it's a priority for the city to protect and have safe traveling public traffic ways for the pedestrians.
We may not have found any potholes in the village during our drive, but that doesn't mean they don't happen during the year, especially in winter season. Supervisor Shane Nolan and his crew know the headaches drivers have trying to maneuver around potholes and work every day to ensure your ride is a smooth one.
So potholes can be formed in many different ways. Usually it's a combination of water and snow and ice that build up within cracks. As you can see, there's some surface cracking on this pavement here. Some moisture can get inside that and keep expanding and contracting with freeze and thaw and cause erosion underneath the pavement, which creates a void and things start to pop and crack. So once we find a pothole or we've been informed about a pothole, we come out and check it. And first thing we do is assess where we're going to be setting up, how we're going to set up, and making sure that all the safety measures and cones, visible roadwork signs, road zones, people slow down, where they should go are in place before we do that. We also have our flashing lights and stuff on our trucks that indicate the traffic, where to go. Once we do that, we assess how we're going to work on that pothole. And in this case, we're going to do an R&R, which is remove and reinstall with a jackhammer. It's a small enough area, a small enough pothole that's just beginning to form. We're going to prevent it from getting bigger. So we're going to jack this out with a jackhammer. We're going to place some tack in there, which is an oil and binder mix that will help adhese the old asphalt to the new asphalt that we're going to put it down. And once we put that down, we'll level it out with a rake, which we call a lute. And then we'll use a plate tamper, which is a big rectangular tamper in the motor that'll compact that asphalt. We'll let it set up for a little bit, and then we're on to the next one. Other methods we can use besides this remove and reinstall with a jackhammer is we can do cold patch, which is just a bag of asphalt that's in a mix for like when it's really wet. We can't do a lot of hot mix in there because we can't have a lot of flowing water. It will not adhere. So we can put that in emergency purposes during the spring, winter, and fall months where it's a lot of water, and we'll just put that in and use a tamper, the hand tamper, to tamp it down, and that usually will hold. The other one, which is even more evasive than this one, you have a skid and a miller that's mounted to the skid, and it's a barrel with teeth on it, and what it does is you put it down and it chews up the asphalt, the area where the pothole may be or where a seam's going out and we need a long run. And we'll tear that out with that. Then we'll use the bucket to scoop out the asphalt, put it in a dump truck and haul it away. And then it's pretty much the same method. We use a tack wand and we spray the tack on there to get an adhesion with the old asphalt to the new. And we'll either use a roller, which is a small roller with drums that compact the asphalt, or we'll use our plate tamper, depending on where that's at. Pothole areas are taken into consideration when we go to repave a road, as well as other things. It's called a pavement condition index, and we'll have our inspectors come out and they'll walk the road and they'll take numerical values for the status of the road, depending on how many potholes, how many cracks, how much alligator, and that's like looks like an alligator's back, a lot of little lines and stuff, or how many sinks there might be, or if the gutter pans are eroding away. And when we do that, we use that to give us the life expectancy of a road and how long it'll last and how soon we need to put that on in our CIP to get it fixed in the long run. It's difficult to prevent potholes. There's always going to be potholes. There's always construction. You always have weather to deal with, snow and ice, and you're always going to have the asphalt and the concrete expanding and contracting and fighting with each other during the different temperatures. So you can't eliminate them completely. You can mitigate them as much as possible. And like this one we're about to see, it's not quite a pothole yet, but give it a couple months with rain and moisture and it could become one very quickly. So we try to get out on them as quickly as possible. But it's hard to do that with the amount of network we have, 224 lane miles of asphalt plus 20 miles of asphalt trails. And we also have to do with gutter edges, and we also grade gravel roads as well. So there's a lot that we have to try and maintain within the city. So we try to prioritize and try to keep busy and keeping those roads safe and in good condition.
Potholes are inevitable. They can appear overnight, leaving no warning for pedestrians and drivers until the deed is done. So here are some tips to help you avoid pothole damage.
First of all, the traveling public needs to be aware of their surroundings. Following the speed limits and the posted signs. If you see a pothole, obviously check your mirrors and make sure you're not stopping all of a sudden on somebody behind you and slowly go over the top of it. I would straddle it with your wheels. I would try not to go directly through the pothole. Pedestrian safety is just as important as the public driving on the roads. So we have to make sure that, especially in crosswalks, intersections, that when someone would cross across that there's nothing that's dangerous, a tripping hazard, or uneven pavement and things of that nature. When we're out doing a job and a repair, we want to have all the signs and information letting the public be aware that we're going to have equipment out, people are going to be out in the street working, they might be close to the sidewalk, and that they're aware of, okay, be cautious or reroute your walking or getting from one place to the other around the site so you're not in danger.
If citizens see a pothole, what should they do?
That's a really good question, Jack. I think that's very important. It's nice to have the extra eyes because citizens are always driving roads we can't always see, and things happen rather quickly with potholes. If they do see a pothole and spot it, they should call the maintenance facility and let them know where they saw the pothole and where their concern is, and then I can come out, or one of my crew members will, within that 24 to 48 hours and inspect it and see what we can do from there.
Thank you, Shane. This information is very useful.
You're welcome, Jack. I'm glad you got some information out of this and can pass it on to other people.
Potholes. It seems every road has them. They are to be navigated, avoided, or driven over. Don't keep driving into potholes. And if you do, try choosing the path less traveled. There's fewer potholes. Reporting for GV Kids News, I'm Jack Huggins.